Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I am Mike. Halloween Kills Extended Cut is out today, digitally. And by the way, be careful when you buy it because I bought it on Vudu and on Amazon, neither of which includes the special features, which we're going to have a video about as well. But only like iTunes and Apple and maybe Movies Anywhere. Just wherever you purchase it, if you purchase it, be careful to make sure you get a copy that actually has the special features with it so you don't get dicked over like I did. But today, we are talking about every difference between the original cut of Halloween Kills and the extended cut of Halloween Kills. Who doesn't like to be extended? So first off, is it worth it to purchase the extended cut? I haven't delved into the special features yet, but I'll say as far as the movie itself goes, it all depends on whether you're a length or a girth guy. That came out. That's not what I meant to say. There's not a lot of extra stuff, but there's some important stuff. So the original comes in an hour, 45 minutes, and 13 seconds. The extended cut comes in an hour, 49 minutes, and 11 seconds. So again, barely 4 minutes there. So about 6 minutes to 30 seconds in, the first difference you get is in the flashback sequence. Lonnie's run away from those. That's why you don't fuck with the Mulaney's kids. O'Doyle rules. He's running out in the middle of the street, and you notice that scene goes on a little bit longer. You see Michael standing behind a bush, not Gavin Rossdale and Machine Head, but behind a bush just like he was in the Hey Jerk Speed Kill section of Halloween 1978. He's looking at Lonnie standing from behind a bush at a distance, and then he creepily, that music is perfect too. The John Carpenter original score hits there just like it did in the original. And then Michael starts to walk away from the bush towards like a house. The only difference is, and I think the reason they kept it out, is it kind of takes away the mystique of the original scene in 1978. Because he's standing behind the bush staring at him, and then he just slowly does the turn to walk away. But you can see his fucking feet under the bush. Sorry guys, I got a thing going on. I've been under the weather the past couple days. So when I laugh, I cough. But yeah, you see his fucking feet under the bush like scurry away. So it kind of takes away from the mystique. In the original, he kind of just disappears. I think maybe that's why they took that scene out. But it was a neat little scene. It was nice to have in this one. And then you got to go all the way to about 20 minutes and 50 seconds in where there's the firefighters are in the house. Well, Michael comes out of the fucking shoebox like a new pair of Nikes. And the dude's like, oh shit, I'm fucked now. And then the guy looks at him. So there's just one quick extra scene where Michael hits him a fourth time with the halogen and really sticks it in there. Nothing crazy different, just a little bit of you know what's the difference between extra and extraordinary is? Just that little bit of extra, or ordinary, extraordinary, fuck it, you get the idea. So nothing crazy. I mean, in the original, they showed a gigantic fucking hole as a face for that guy. Anyways, you can't make that one much more grodier than it was. Surprisingly, the rest of the firefighter scene was almost exactly the same. 25 minutes and 5 seconds in, there's a whole extra scene where Karen is at the hospital and she walks in. Right before she meets up with Allison, she walks into the morgue. And by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I notice this every time I watch it. This hospital is the worst hospital in the world. Not just for everything else that goes on here, but they just have dead bodies lying with all the fucking windows open for everybody in Haddonfield just to see people's just, you know, fat, dead, naked bodies with their little wieners hanging out. If I die, do not put me in fucking Haddonfield Memorial so everybody can see, you know, my fat ass laying on a table and my wiener hanging out on my leg. I'd appreciate that. That's not how you honor your dead. But yeah, she goes in there and there's this big dude just laying there and there's this old dude sitting there and it does have like, I see why they took it out because the scene adds nothing, but it does have this almost John Carpenter body bags, like 80s horror weirdness to it. Because there's just this old nurse dude or doctor sitting there in scrubs and he's sitting there and dead bodies everywhere. And she walks in and he's like, you're not supposed to be in here. And she's like, she was looking for her husband, which was actually really sad if you think about it. But then he's like, you're not supposed to be in here. And he's like, it's just weird and off a little bit. And just a nice little horror, like, you know, sprinkle that's in there. But that was it. She runs out or whatever and the movie continues on just as it did. Actually added nothing to the movie. Totally see why they took it out. But again, neat little scene there. Where he says, you can't be in here. I don't know why he's a fucking pirate all of a sudden. One thing I thought was going to be in the movie that's not in this movie, the scene at the park where Michael's chasing Lindsay and at first she's hiding behind the tree and she's clean and then later on when you see her she's like covered in dirt and everything. I know everybody said like, what the fuck happened there? You almost expected there to be, and maybe there is in the deleted scenes, I haven't dug into that yet, I'm going to, as I said, but there is no extended chase scene between Michael and Lindsay Wallace that explains how she got so dirty. Now, I think that once he left, she kept like moving around so that he couldn't find her and ended up like, you know, crawling in some shit. But Nothing to explain it so far. About an hour, 9 minutes, and 26 seconds in, there's an added scene with the extra mental patient, which to me, I thought that whole plot line was derivative. I wish they didn't do it. But you get a second longer of that where the dude's running around the hospital looking for help. It is neat in the sense that they do the original, like, self-person camera. Like, you don't have two eyeballs, but it's just from his, from his viewpoint, running around. And he's outside the hospital, and people are like going, what the fuck? Because this dude's running around bloody and shit, and he's wearing, white scrubs. They show us an extra few seconds of him looking for some help. So fast forward to an hour, 14 minutes, and about 10 seconds into the movie, and Big John's death. We know he gets stabbed in the armpit, which is just fucking rough. Nobody wants to be stabbed in the armpit. They add it as like a new top fear on my fucking list of things that I'm scared of. I don't want to be stabbed in the goddamn armpit. So if you guys, when you murder me at some point, please take note of that. Or I'm just putting it out into the universe. Not like that. But yeah, at 1:14, 10 seconds, Big John's death is extended a little bit. Michael gets in there with those fucking thumbs. And it's grody as fuck in the original movie too, because like he's thumbing his fucking eye holes and you see his eyeballs squish out a little bit. But in this, there's just an extended, like, you really see the fucking eyeball squish out, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, ooh, fucking eyeball, it's like, eyeball. It's not a whole lot, but there's extra eyeball movement outside of the fucking socket region, and it's pretty gnarly. I also thought in this that maybe they would actually show Little John's death, because you see that scene where he's like, you're home, Michael, and Michael walks towards him and you just see it from the window. I guess that was purposefully an off-screen death. Just a little bit of you imagine how this fucking went down, but they don't show that here. Again, could be in the deleted scenes, but I'm not betting on it. So now we move all the way to the street fight between Michael and the Haddonfield Agans before you get to your another extra scene. And this is actually an extra death. At about 1:39:35, this Michael's just in the midst of fucking fighting and killing everybody, and one dude just gets it. He turns his face like towards the camera, and I can't tell exactly if it's a knife or a screwdriver or what. Really doesn't matter when it's getting inserted into your fucking skull. At 1:39:15, Al Pacino shows up. There's a man lamenting why he did this with a woman, and Al Pacino tells him, because she's got a big ass, and you got your head all the way up it. That didn't actually happen. At 1:40:37, there's a couple extra slashes as well during the fight scene where Michael's just like, bing, boom, fucking turkey's done. Just like 2 or 3 real quick hits with a knife towards people, just little fast added scenes in there. And then at 1:41:27, there's a little bit of added fucking, spice on the death of Tommy. You don't actually see Tommy die again, but in the original you just see him take the baseball bat and splash it down and the stuff goes everywhere, because apparently Tommy's a squirter. But no, in this one, Michael pulls back the bat and it's a fucking cracked nub and it's like sharp. And then Michael takes it and like, fucking, yeah. One quick fucking for the old country. And that is actually it, except for the moment we've all been waiting for, the actual end of the film, which we did a video explaining this, even though we hadn't seen it. One of our friends who saw the test screening told us about it. So we did a video explaining this already, and he, once again, was absolutely correct. The ending is different after Karen's death. So Karen dies the exact same way. I was hoping that we would get a little bit of backdoor action. That's not what I meant. I was hoping that we would get a scene where you saw how Michael got into the room with Karen, but you did not. It plays out the exact same way. Michael shows up, he kills her, he slices and dices, and then only instead of the camera just focusing on her face and then going back to Michael for the boom, Halloween kills, the camera starts to move back towards Karen's legs, and then you see her phone, and then you see unknown caller is calling. We go back to the hospital, we show Lori on the phone calling. Hawkins sits up in bed and goes, Lori, what is it? And she's like, not right now, Mom's on the fucking phone. She didn't say that, but Hawkins asks what's going on, and then you see Lori, you can hear the breathing of Michael just coming out of the other end of the phone. You don't actually, by the way, see Michael pick it up and like, oh, what's your fucking passcode? Does anybody have the Wi-Fi? You don't see Michael pick up the phone. You just hear him breathing on the other end with her. And her face very quickly goes from sadness to like despair to fucking determination within like a second. And then she says, I'm coming for you, Michael. And throws the phone, picks up a knife, grabs her shit, gets ready to go, and you could hear, it's funny, she's not on the phone anymore, but you can still hear Michael breathing like an idiot in the phone while she's like not even there, and it just made me laugh because he's still there just like breathing. And you know the people downstairs heard a fucking thud, so this motherfucker's got time to sit on the fucking phone. Anyways, but she goes, grabs her stuff, and she starts walking out in the hospital, and it is, like we said, the shot that you saw in the trailer that wasn't in the movie. Holding a knife, shoulder-checking motherfuckers like a bad guy in a chase scene in a movie. I was half expecting her to start, like, fucking elbowing people and, like, hitting them on her way out. But, yeah, she's just determined as fuck, walking through the hallway on her way to kill Michael, and then the camera moves down towards the knife and zooms in on the knife, once again, the same way it did at the end of Halloween 2018. And that's every difference between the extended cut and the original cut of Halloween Kills. There is no shortage of Evil Dies Tonight. But hey, on the other end of that, there is no extra Evil Dies Tonight in this than there was before. Stay tuned, guys. We're gonna have another video about the special features when I can finally fucking get to them.
I had a sister named Judith. She had sex with this kid. It all ended awkwardly quick. You know, I stabbed her in the tits. I know it probably wasn't cool of me, but I just went crazy. You see, my middle name is Audrey. Michael Audrey, my